Okay.
So we have, yeah, we have 4.
So how did you make that leap? What was it that allowed you to make that leap and take that risk from being a solo practitioner where you only had to feed yourself to adding associates that you now have to feed and
It was a big leap. There was a lot of lost sleep over that decision to hire that first employee. I hired a paralegal first, and then big leap of faith to hire particularly the first attorney. I think that having been in practice for a couple of years helped me feel comfortable that we're doing the right things on the business end of things, that we're going to be able to continue to get clients to come in the door, and that if I could kind of take myself more and more out of the courtroom and just focusing on the business, then we'd be able to even get more clients that we'd be able to help. But it was really the E-myth that started this, because until beginning of the summer last year, June, is when I went to the beach, and sometimes when you have these moments of, don't forget to take breaks. As much as you want to kick your own ass, don't forget to take breaks, because there's good things that generally happen when you relax a little bit and have time to have a little bit of vision time. But I read that book at the beach, and basically after that I came back. I had one paralegal at that time, and I said, we're going to change the way that we run the business. And that was kind of the moment I decided. I started putting out kind of positions for a second attorney. We hired a second kind of part-time staff member, and first hire of an attorney was in August. I hired another attorney in January, and then I hired another attorney in April. So it's been a very kind of compacted time. The Gastonia and Charlotte offices didn't exist before August of last year. So it kind of came back and said, we're going to kind of change the way that we have are able to offer legal services. But it was a major risk. I think that the biggest risk that any business owner faces if they're starting out on their own is hiring that first employee. And that's another thing. Again, I didn't have any training on that end of things, so I didn't know, what questions to ask when you're hiring somebody. Or I've gotten pretty lucky, I think, with the team that we've assembled, because I don't have a really great system in place, and I've just gotten a couple of books that I've read on kind of really trying to improve your hiring process and your retention process, but didn't really have a firm outlook on how that hiring process was gonna work. And that it was definitely a lot of lost sleep over that, because I didn't want to be somebody that said, here's the job, and then 3 weeks later, sorry, we're not making enough money, you're gone. So we haven't had to let anybody go, fortunately, due to financial end of things. We've only had one person that has left the firm. We actually haven't let go of anybody. We had one person that was part-time and was going to school, and she just couldn't keep up with part-time work. But fortunately, we've got a great team, and I think that was more by luck than by design.
Do you mean that your marketing plan fed that growth, or enabled the ability to add extra staff?
It did,
and
yeah.
not, the extra staff didn't dig up the extra work?
Exactly, yeah. And I think that happens at most smaller firms. I don't think the attorneys that I have are really great at, I have one fellow that's got kind of a decent marketing background, but the other two are very much the technician that we're talking about. They know, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tear the state's case apart on this particular client's issue. Or I'm going to really get a great outcome on this personal injury case. But they're very much the technician. They're not. I wouldn't say that they have a whole lot of good marketing sense, and I didn't either for a long time. And it's only kind of through self-education that's happened. But it was the marketing system that we had in place that allowed for that growth to occur, and also made that growth a little bit less risky, because we knew we were going to be able to bring in more clients and help more people. I've got just a couple of quick things, just a couple quick wrap-up points. the biggest thing I think you can do if you're going to start your own business is basically have a value-oriented philosophy. So what I mean by that is that the customer, the client, the person that is buying has to see value in your services. If they don't see value in your services, then you're in that price war. So you have to separate yourself from the competition, because if the only thing that's separating you from the competition is price, you're going to either be, poor, you're not going to be representing many people. That's the only two options if you're just working on price. The second thing, and this is, I think, important to develop right here, would be to have what I would call what Jeffrey Gitomer in his little Red Book of Sales calls a 30-second commercial. So when somebody walks up to you and they say, what do you do? Most people standing in my shoes say, well, I'm an attorney. And that's what they say. This is I am in the business of handling cases. Instead, say something a little bit more unique to your particular situation. What I normally say is, I'm in the business of helping people that have made a very one-time bad decision getting their life back on track. I'm in the business of providing value to my clients. I'm in the business of information and legal marketing. I'm not just an attorney. And I think all too often, when you ask somebody what they do or where they're at, it's always, I'm a banker, I'm in marketing. It's a one-line answer. So not just a student. Kind of find something that defines you as an individual, what it is that you're about. I'm a foster parent. I'm a very proud foster parent. So that is something that I will, kind of brag about in a particular context. But don't just leave it at that kind of basic, here's what I do. You've got to focus on more who you are. I think I'm going to stop before I take up the next amount of time there. So
we have just a little thank you. So your next cup of coffee at
thank
Atlanta Bread
thank you very much.
is on us.
I appreciate
Thank you
that.
very much. And please join me in thanking Jake and sit by on the way out.
Thank you guys. I
Okay,
appreciate
guys.
the attention.